Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining me. It's great to have you here this morning, this very fine morning. This is, for those of you that are following what we're doing, this is week 3, day 1, but this is the day where we do a public broadcast for everyone in the world. So you're all watching this wherever you are. Let me just share this somewhere into, I'm sharing it to another universe. Here we go. Done. So, good morning, everyone. I'm excited to deliver some great content to you today. Content that I believe could seriously change your life. How many of you are interested in you having a better life? How many of you are actually interested in that? Because we know that when someone's interested in something, they can be disinterested. But when someone's committed to something, it's amazing what they can achieve. And all I ask of you, no matter where you are in the world, is just to commit to giving me your attention for 10, 15 minutes this morning as I share with you some really valuable content. We have a lot of our My365 members here. And I am delighted to tell everyone in the world that today you can get your hands on a very powerful tool that our My365 members have been using. It's called priming. Priming is a technique to really start training your brain to start fixating on where it is that you want to go. You can get your hands on this for free, as well as a free ebook that we've put together on fear. If you just go here, petecohen.com/fear, petecohen.com/fear, you can get your hands on that priming tool. And perhaps some of our elite members could just tell everybody else what they have been getting from using that tool. Reprogramming your mind is something that most of us have never really been taught to do. What most of us do is we just continue to program our mind the way that we've been programming our mind for a long time. And what we're working on right now with our elite members is showing them how to upgrade. We are all aware of upgrading our phones, upgrading our software, upgrading our lives, upgrading. We need this, we need that. But when it comes to this, the hardware that we have inside us, many of us think that the way that we think and the way that we are is the way that we are always going to be. How many of you have thought that? I thought that for years. I thought that everyone thought like me many years ago. I thought there was something wrong with me. And it took me years to work out, yeah, there are things wrong with me. It's called being imperfect. No one is perfect. No one is perfect. But what is really interesting is that we can strive for perfection. And that's one of the things we're going to be talking about this week. So for those of you that want to get your hands on probably one of the 2 or 3 most powerful tools I've ever put together, go to petecohen.com/fear, and you get a free ebook. You get that free MP3 that you can download. You can listen to it every day, and it will seriously help you. Those of you that are watching this, it'd be great if you could share it, because there's someone out there right now that is struggling in their life. They are struggling with insecurities. They are struggling with doubt, with fear. And this is something that could seriously help them, because that is what My365 is all about, here to help you create an unbelievable life. So who's ready to get on with the show? Quick sip of coffee. There we go. And it's time. It's time. Let's go. So one of the things that we believe, and I wonder whether you believe this, do you believe that your future is unwritten? Do you believe that you have the power to change? Now, you might, I don't think many people actually believe it, but they kind of think it could be true, right? They don't fully heartedly know that they have power. They might know their future's unwritten, but they don't really know that they have this power within them, this superhero power here, right within us, our heart, that can drive us to do great things. But let's just face fact. All of us have all been messed up a little bit. Who here's been messed up? Anyone here been messed up? Anyone been messed up? Anyone a little bit confused? Anyone feel not quite good enough? Because when we talk about upgrading this, it's really important to become aware that this is the hardware And this hardware has some software, and the software has come about through growing up, from what you learned, from copying, from mimicking. That's how we learn, by the way. We learn by copying and mimicking the people around us. So sometimes it's not what we say, it's just what we do, because there's someone who's following us. So I know many people are following me. So I know that I have to be the very best that I can be. So you want to follow someone who inspires you to move forwards. But my goal is for you to inspire yourself. So you wake up in the morning and go, I want to follow that guy or that woman who's you. And if you're interested in being that sort of person, you've got to go to work on it, because it's reprogramming. And the reprogramming, it's a manual job. It's a manual job. Just imagine this: of all of the applications on your computer or on your phone, there's all this data that goes, this programming behind it, code. Can you imagine if you had to write that code every single time you put a new app on your phone? You don't have to do that. Someone else did it for you. But for you to do that for yourself, to develop the application of feeling positive, the application of having willpower, the application of being a confident person, the application of having a wealth mentality, which many people don't have. This is what I want to explain to you today. And this is profound, this is important, and it matters, because your life matters. Your life matters. Does your life matter? Do you make a difference? Do you make a difference? Every human being can make a difference to this world. How? Often giving our greatest gifts to the world. What's our greatest gift that we can give to the world? To be happy, to be joyful, to feel good about who you are right here today, to feel good enough, whatever that means, to feel that you have a place. See, we have this incredible capacity to feel secure, but we have this incredible capacity to feel insecure. I'm asking you, do you want to feel worthy? But before we go into that in a little bit more detail, how many of you want this? Anyone want this? Anyone want it? You want it? Out there on Instagram? Do you want it? It's free. Who wants it? Anyone want it? 20 quid. I must say, Steve, who wants this? Who wants this? Stephen Hughes Landers is watching here this morning. Stephen, great to see you. How many of you loved listening to his podcast the other day and left a comment? Unbelievable, right? What you can do with the power of the mind. But Stephen, just like you, just like me, just like all of us, we've all been a little bit messed up a little bit. You know, but that's the software. The hardware is still there. So if you want this, it's free money. Now, how many of you have, as I share this with you, you go, well, hang on, there must be a catch. There must be a catch. Because how many of us in our life, someone has tried to sell us something or do something that we get us to do something we didn't want to do, but we bought into it? How many times have you bought something because someone tried to sell it to you in such a way that you felt compelled to buy it? Is there a catch? No, there's no catch. You can have it. But what about now? Do you still want it? Who still wants it? Who still wants it? You still want it? It's still there, right? Still the same thing. What about now? I don't know. Stick it under my armpit or something. I don't know. Stick it down my trousers. Maybe that's a little bit too much information. How about this? Who wants it now? Who wants it now? Anyone still want it? You still want it? Who wants it? You want it? Do you want it? I didn't actually spit in it, but just imagine that I did. This is what's happened to us. The world has messed most of us up. And we know that the biggest program that we run in the back of our mind is, I'm not quite good enough. As a very small child, when you were like 0, 1, 2, you didn't know that. But you've fitted into a world that the problem is the world that you were trying to fit into. The problem isn't you. The problem is the world that you're trying to fit into, that basically says you can't be happy now. You have to be happy when. You have to be happy if you do this. And if you don't do this, well, then you're not as good as other people, so you don't fit in. And you've been screwed up. I know many things that have screwed people up. I mean, your parents probably screwed you up a little bit. They probably didn't mean to, but they were probably doing the best that they knew how to do. and they were a subject of, I'm so glad that my grandparents were not my parents. I wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes. But we've all been messed up. How many people do you know that are overweight? How many people do you think are overweight because they heard this thing that there are starving kids in the world and we better eat what's on their plate? You know, how many people were rewarded with food or punished in certain ways that made us a little bit messed up? I think school messed up a lot of people. I'm sorry to say that. It messed me up, and it messed up a lot of people. I felt I wasn't good enough. I went to an all-boys school. I didn't even know how to talk to a girl. I didn't learn anything that was particularly useful for me. It really messed me up. I know people from certain religions. I know one person who went to something called confession. In their first confession, she had nothing to confess. So guess what she did? She confessed to the fact that she confessed to something which never happened. Guess what she confessed in the next confession? She confessed to the fact that she confessed to something which never happened again. She learned how to be guilty. Most of us have been screwed up. Most of us have been messed up in some way, shape, or form. A society that basically says you need to be and think and act in this way. And if you don't do that, you don't look this way, then you're not good enough. Can you not see that this is why so many people struggle? But no matter what's happened to you, no matter, you could say, poor me, but what about, look, the fact is it doesn't matter what's happened to you to a certain extent because you're still here. Your self-worth is still here. It's still here, right? But unraveling yourself, unscrambling yourself, what do you need in order to do that? Well, that's a really good question, don't you think? What do I need to really unscrew myself? Maybe you need to sit and talk to a counselor. I wish when I was a child, someone had asked me, how do you feel? Because as a child, I felt massively insecure. I thought there was something hugely wrong with me. People made fun of me. I had this huge thing at the end of my hair. I had, I had my hair started falling out when I was 17. I had a growth right down in between my legs, something that was growing. One of the two was growing far bigger than the other one. I didn't tell anyone because I already thought there was something wrong with me. And then I had a physical manifestation showing me that there was something wrong with me. So for years, I thought there was something wrong with me until one day, my coach, who I believe we all need coaches. A coach is a coach that takes you from where you are to where you want to be, which is another really key thing of where do you want to go? Most people don't know where they want to go. They know where they don't want to go because it wasn't great where they were. Rather than getting a coach and realizing, listen, you're imperfect. We're imperfect. Human beings are imperfect. I believe we should be striving for perfection, but in an imperfect way. Now, that might not make any sense to some of you, but most of us have stopped applying ourselves to anything that really, 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 really matters, like your health, your well-being, your positivity, your mindfulness. All of these things that matter so much, but that when we do them in the perfect way. What does that mean? It means that you give it your best. In a world that's full of distraction, in a world that's trying to get you away from where you are, it's no wonder that so many of us are like this. And how long does it take? How long does it take to unscrew yourself? Well, it all starts off with a decision to do it, a decision to bring out the best in you. And how long does that take? Well, personally, I believe that takes at least 365 days of going to work on yourself. That's what we're here to do. And many people who are here, they're at this kind of university of mind. What does this stand for? Most of you know what this stands for now, right? Mindfulness, meaning, having a meaning to your life, having mentorship. What is this? This is you. And people who tend to get over themselves, if you like, and get out of their own way are people who decide to have something that they're working towards rather than the big me. And this is where so many people go wrong in life because it's all about me. Me, 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 me. You were like that as a child. Me, 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 me. And when you have the me, you think the problem is always with you. You think there's something wrong with you, but there is something wrong with you. It's called being a human being. We don't live forever. We're not perfect. But if we could learn to enjoy our imperfections, if we could realize I'm not perfect, but I'm going to try and be the very best that I can be, which is what we call a my 3, 6, 5 ist, a list, where we are literally striving to be the best that we can be. Does this make sense to everyone? You think you're alone? Do you think you're the only one here that's watching this that has had horrible things happen or challenging things happen, but you're still here? You made it to today. It's what are you going to do? What are you going to do with the life that you've been given? And look, as we start to wrap this up, I'm going to mention something I mentioned a number of weeks ago. Apparently, Jesus said something like this in Matthew 5.5, okay? Can you believe I'm saying this? Here we go. He says, "For the meek will inherit the earth." What is the meek? Well, the meek were just everyday people living in the times of huge power of the Romans, where it was a pretty good idea to be meek. To be meek is to be humble, and that's a great thing, to be humble, but also to be subservient. But I like the idea of being meek, because the whole idea of being meek was just realizing that, look, you don't want to rise up here, because if you rise up here, you're going to be killed. But if you rise up now in today's world, rise up to give your greatest gifts to the world, to rise up to be who you want to be, you're not going to get the Romans coming around and crucifying you and killing you. That was a time where people needed to be meek. But now we don't need to be meek. We don't need to be. We can be what we want to be to a certain extent, or maybe to a great extent, to the extent that you decide is where it is that you want to go. I believe that now is the time for us to inherit the earth. This is your earth, it's my earth. And what are we here to do? Maybe to give our greatest gifts to the world, for us to be happy, to us to be joyful. But it takes time, it takes energy, and it takes really what I believe one of the greatest things on earth is a compass. Is a compass that you decide where you want to go. And isn't that funny? True north, but true north is over there. You decide where you want to go, and realize that when you're getting in your own way, and this is where coaching, and this is where it can really be such a wonderful journey, a journey of self-discovery, a journey of greatness. You know what? In my life of working with people, I've met some people who have been through some of the most challenging and horrific things that you could even possibly imagine. But for so many people, they have found a way to make what happened their inspiration. Their desperation became their inspiration. Let me ask you a question as we wrap this up today, and thank you very much. Please share this, get this information out there. People can get their hands on my ebook and that priming tool, which is hugely, hugely powerful. What is it that you do in your life that when you do it, you feel so alive? What is it that you do in your life that you feel that you have a calling to do? Because that's what coaching is. Coaching isn't about going back. This is where I am and I want to go back there. No, it's about moving forwards. And My365 is committed to helping everyday people just like you move your life in a direction that is compelling to you. And if you don't know at the moment, it's something you can work on. And one of the greatest things you can go to work on first is your health and well-being. So as we wrap this up, thank you very much for all of you that have shared this. It'll be great to hear also right now, those of you that have been a part of the My365 movement over the last 3 or 4 weeks since we upgraded what we're doing, what have you been getting out of that? Let's share that with the big wide world before we finish. Thank you for being here today. Go to petecohen.com/fear. Get your hands on our priming tool, which you can listen to every single day. I dare you to do it. If you do that for 30 days or 60 days or 90 days or 120 days, your life will be amazing. Listen, your true worth is still there. Unraveling yourself, it takes time, it takes effort, but it's the most beautiful job you can ever do. It's like going into a garden where there's lots of weeds and pulling out the weeds so this beautiful stuff can take root, take growth, and as you become that very, very best version of yourself. So look, these are some of the things which people have been, and I've watched everyone's video, I think, everyone, pretty much. Thank you so much. I think I've read every broadcast, read every video that all of our members have done over the weekend, sharing what they've been learning. This week, guys, we're going to get really stuck into becoming an imperfectionist, where you're striving for perfection. Thank you for being here. I can look at that. I feel I can be who I'm meant to be. I don't compare myself anymore. Fantastic. We have an amazing community of people. You can become a My365 elite member as well if you want, and be a part of this incredible community of people. I really, really appreciate these comments, by the way, guys. I've installed the light version of confidence, love, kindness, and energy, now upgrading to full fat versions and loving the journey. I love what you said. I loved what you said about getting complacent, Sarah Jane. Inspired to be more confident and be me. So as I wrap this up, I want to say that I've been very, very touched by people getting out of their comfort zone and showing up and sharing what they're learning. But what I want to say to you is, if you continue on this journey that you've started now, for the next 3 or 4 or 6, 8, 9, 10 weeks, you're going to make some amazing, amazing changes. Feel so much gratitude now. Thank you very much. I loved watching Janet's video this morning. I don't know how many of you have seen that. That was just awesome, talking about when she saw, this is a woman who lost 7.5 stone. And when she saw a picture of herself recently, it's kind of sickened her to realize that's how I used to be. Wow, look at me now. I'm going to really enjoy this. Okay, have a great day. Look at that, Julia Stubbs. Thank you. That, look, best decision I ever made. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Take care. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow morning, our elite members at 7 a.m. And make sure you share this with the world. And thank you, Gemma Murray, who helped me with that priming track. Go to petecohen.com/fear. Get your hands on our free ebook about getting over fear and use our priming tool. Share it with the world, and let's make the world a better place. Thank you. Much love. See you tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Actually, I'm going to do something. Can I do something? Here we go. So this is day 1, and thank you so much for all of your amazing comments. We are really doing something awesome, something incredible. I think that might be back to front. Go to petecohen.com/fear. Get your hand on my free ebook and one of the most powerful tools I've ever put together. I'm just recording this on Instagram, my Facebook friends. The best is yet to come. We realize now that human beings have so much more potential than we ever realized, but it's now time for us to recognize that and really go to work on it. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Much love to all.